everyone, welcome to Winged Paper Crafting. My name is Angel Fitch. If you're new around here, welcome. If you're returning, welcome back. I'm so glad you've all decided to join me today. Today we're going to do our 5th set of alternatives for the January 2026 Paper Pumpkin Kit called Special Delivery. And here are the 9 cards that you could have made had you done this kit as it was intended. But as you know, we changed things up around here, so let's go ahead and get started. So we're going to do a couple really easy ones today because we're going to let the kit do all the work. So as I'm getting the pieces out here, if I could ask you, if you haven't yet subscribed to my channel, please join us. I would really like to have you around here. And if you like this video, hit that like button. Okay, so we're going to start with a card base of Secret Sea. That's 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. We're going to give this a good burnish with our bone folder. I have a piece for the inside of basic white that is 4 by 5 1/4. And then we're going to use this card topper that came in the kit. So that's going to be our first layer down. So we're not going to do that quite yet, though. And then we're going to use these 3 blue postage stamp things with this very faint pink flower on it. And I've got one of the sentiment pieces that somehow or another I got some blue ink on at one point in time, but it also has this pink thing at the bottom, and I didn't really want pink for this, so I'm going to flip it over and use the back. So, but before we do that, we're going to do our stamping. So, let's put this over here. We're going to stamp on, not this. So we're going to put this over here. We're going to stamp on our 2 little pieces here, this and our inside. So, we are going to use Secret Sea to stamp in. And on this little piece on the outside, I'm going to use a stamp from an old Paper Pumpkin kit that says Just For You. There is a Just For You in this kit, and we're going to use it on our second card, but it was just too big for this tiny little piece, so I found a different one. So we're going to ink this up. And I'm going to line this up and see if we can start as straight as possible. And we'll get this right down in here because it just barely fits. So let's see if I can do this without getting my head in the way. Oh, let's see if that was good. There we go. It's pretty good. Okay, so there's our sentiment for the front. On the inside, we're going to use what came in the kit that says You Brighten My Day. So we're going to ink this up. And I'm going to line this up so we can start straight. And we'll get this down right up here at the top. Give that just a couple seconds for the ink to transfer. There we go. Okay, so let's put our ink away. We're done with that for the day. I'm just going to check my hands, make sure I don't have any wayward blue ink. Okay, so let's get this piece on the inside, and then we will put our front together because it's not going to take long at all. So we will put glue on that, making sure that we get the corners. Because the corners are the most important because they will come up if you don't get glue on them. Okay, now back on the inside, we'll put our card topper down as our first layer. And we'll get it down just centered up on the card. And I'm trying to center, and I'm not doing a very good job of that because it did not want to move down. It was too far up. Alright, so let's try this again. And that looks pretty good there. Okay. So there's our front piece. Now, we're going to take our 3 postage stamps here, and I'm going to pop those up on some dimensionals. So, let me find our dimensionals. Here's our little ones, but I think I want a regular sized one. So here's a brand new sheet. We'll go ahead and use this. So I'm just going to put a couple on the back of each one. then we're going to put these on the front in a diagonal pattern. So let me get the backs off here. Oops. And one more. Okay, since they're all the same, it doesn't matter which one we start with. We just want to make sure that they are, right side up. So I'm going to start with one there. I'm not going to quite commit yet. I want to make sure we get our spacing down. And we're going to do one here and one down here. Let's see. Let's move this one up just a smidge there so that I'm looking for the same space here as here. And then we can move this one up just a little. Okay, that looks pretty good. So we'll go ahead and push these down so that they stay. And we're going to put our Just For You right up here in the corner. And we'll go ahead and put this down flat. So just centered up kind of in this little open space. Just like that. Okay, last thing we need is some bling. And I've got some of these Strawberry Slush and Pretty in Pink gems. But these ones up here are more white and iridescent. They have just the faintest hint of pink in them. But then so do our flowers. So that's why I thought we could use these. So let's get a couple of these. Let's see, this is a smaller one. So we're going to put that one there. And let's see, I think this is a bigger one. So we'll put it here. And one more smaller one we will take somewhere over here. Oops. I lost it somewhere along the way. All right, it doesn't want to play with us today. So let's take this one and we'll put it right there. Okay, so there is our cute, very easy, very quick card. All right, let's move on to our second one. It's going to be just as easy and just as quick. So we are going to start with a card base here that is what is this? This is, I am drawing a complete blank on what color this is. Isn't that bad? It is not Poppy Parade. I don't think. It's some pink. I can't think of it off the top of my head. Isn't that bad? It's not Strawberry Slush. Maybe it is Poppy Parade. It could very well be Poppy Parade. All right, but anyway, it's 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. I'm going to give it a good burnish. We have a piece of white for the inside that's 4 by 5 1/4. I have a piece here that I'm going to use as the first layer. This is actually a piece from a Celebration pack from last year. The one that had all of the mushrooms and things on it. So we're just going to use the back side though, because I thought it worked perfectly with this. And then we're going to use the flower that came in the kit along with the green stem and a sentiment piece. So let's get our first layer down. It's going to bother me now that I can't. You know what? Maybe it's Melon Mambo. I'm thinking now it's Melon Mambo. Finally came to me. It was going to bother me until I figured it out. So it is definitely Melon Mambo. Okay, so let's get that down. Like that. Okay. And we're going to put our two pieces over here that we're going to stamp on. We'll do that in a second. Let's go ahead and get our green leafy piece down. And then we can move on. So I'm just going to put a little bit of glue in each of the back of each of these leaves and buds that are on this. And then we're just going to kind of center this up like that. So we'll push each of these down and spread that out just a little bit. Okay, so there's that. And then we're going to take our flower and put this up on some dimensionals. And we'll we'll pop it up so we can give our card just a little bit of interest and definition. So we'll do that. I'm going to put take our backings off here. I think I got them all. Okay, so this flower goes like this. So we're going to put that right there. Actually, I'm going to move it over just a tad because I want this bud over here to show. Okay, so just like that. So that's good. Now, let's do our stamping. So we are going to stamp in Strawberry Slush. I don't know why. I just picked it because I thought it was pretty. And on our big piece here, we're going to do the Just For You that came in the stamp set. So let's line this up. And we'll get this down, hopefully centered. Give that a couple of seconds. Okay, perfect. All right. And then we're going to use the same one for the inside. You brighten my day. I'm just going to give it a quick cleaning because I don't want to get the last color that we used into this pad. So let's just give that a good clean. And it fell off my block, so let's re-block it up straight. Okay, so we'll do that. And we'll ink this up. And we'll get this straight here. And we'll get this down at the top. It is just a little crooked. I don't know why, but it just seemed like it was crooked in the middle. Okay, maybe that's better. All right, let's give it another go on some ink. And we'll get that down. Okay, you brighten my day. Perfect. Okay, I'm going to put our ink away. And we'll go ahead and get this on the inside. And then we'll get our sentiment piece put on. So I'm going to line this up in here. Just something like that. We'll give that a good push. All right, back on the front. Now, I'm going to put this on some dimensionals, just again to give it a little interest. So we'll put one at each end and one in the middle. I'll get the backs off of these. And I think I'm going to just lay it down here, right here at the bottom, across our leafy bits there. Okay, now we need bling for this one. We're going to use these same strawberry gems here. So let me take my pick tool here, and then we're going to do the darker ones. What happened to the... I'm looking for the cardboard that went under it. Oh, here it is. I just wanted you to be able to better see them. There we go. So let's use a big one here. And we'll go right there. And then another one down here in this corner. And another little one. Let's see. Let's go somewhere over here. All right. So there's that. Now, last thing for this one. I want to use some Wink of Stella, if I can find mine. And I tell you, I just saw it. So where did it run off to? Here it is. Ha ha ha. Okay. So I'm going to take my Wink of Stella, and I'm just going to give our flower some sparkle. So this is so easy to do, and I know it's hard to see it on camera, but it really does in person give it some shine. And that is a good thing. I think this one though might be almost out of juice. So I will need to get a new one, which I have a new one. Just don't want to open it until I've used this one up, the entire thing. So let's go ahead and get this all over. And I think that looks pretty good. And we'll see if maybe if I bring it up here, if I can catch the light so you can see the sparkle. So it just makes it so much prettier than it was before. Okay, so here are our 2 cards that we made for today. So don't forget to hit that like and subscribe and ring that bell so you get notified every time I upload a video. And I will be back tomorrow with another set of paper pumpkins. I will see you all then. Have a crafty day. Bye.